Hello everyone, I'm Serena Fazan of the Serena Fazan Network, brought to you by Red House Streaming. We are committed to helping those impacted by Hurricane Ian. You can see the unprecedented damage caused after Ian made landfall just short of a Category 5 storm. So many lost their lives. Thousands are without homes as a massive recovery mission is underway. We are teaming up with the Red Cross. Please join us in this rebuilding effort. It's as simple as scanning the QR code or following the link below. Stay safe.
Dating in America is brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source.
November has two birthstones to choose from: topaz, which has a rainbow of colors, and citrine, prized for its charming yellow and orange hues.
Both are known to have calming energies while bringing fortune and warmth to you.
Topaz and citrine are affordably priced.
Only at the Gold and Diamond Source.
It's the good, the bad,
Possibly a murderer?
and the funny of the single scene.
Yeah, you young people don't talk on the
about
phone.
Listen,
I want just a text back.
laugh, and get your love life on track. This is Dating in America with Serena Fazan.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Serena Fazan, and we are talking about love, being single, struggling through the single life. That's what Dating in America is all about. And today, these two lovely women joining me in the studio. We have Kasey Wishart, that's 26 years old, and Kellie O'Connell, 28 years old. Ladies, welcome to Dating in America.
Thank you. Thank you for having us today.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the crew even said they can't wait to hear from you guys. So why don't we start?
Oh boy.
Yes, Kasey, with you. What's dating like right now?
I am bust-ass single.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know if I've heard that particular.
It's like single AF, single.
Yeah, I'm pretty much single AF because the reality of today's world, I refuse to use the dating apps because I'm quite frankly petrified of them. Anybody can play a character behind a screen. I like to see how you interact with people. I like to see who you hang out with, how you treat people, and of course how you dress too. That's big for me. And honestly, and another thing is, I feel like a lot of men these days are kind of wusses.
Wusses. Okay,
Yeah.
so hold on because we have a lot to discuss with what you said. And by speaking of dress, you look fantastic, girl.
Thank you.
You look great.
Thank you.
Okay, you do too, Kellie. Now you're
Thank
okay.
you.
When she was talking about a dating app, though, didn't you say right before the show started you met somebody on a dating app?
So I'm guilty. I have used dating apps on and off for years. I'm an attorney, and so it's hard to. Not going to date clients, although some of them have tried.
And you know, when she says she's an attorney, what kind of attorney are you?
I'm criminal defense attorney.
Criminal defense.
Oh no, tell me everything.
Well, a TikTok filter told me my soulmate was currently in jail, so
You're kidding.
it was fitting for sure. But it's certainly been interesting, and so I use a lot of dating apps. It's busy and limited network, and it's rough out there. There's a lot of wild men.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Right. Okay. So, what dating apps have you been using, and where did you find your guy?
So I've been dating someone for the past couple weeks now, and we met on Hinge. I tend to think Hinge and Bumble are kind of the better dating apps if you're going to have to choose one, because they do force men to answer more questions about themselves. It's not just photos. They have to answer like questions for prompts. It does ask questions like, do you want children? Are you looking for marriage? Like, what type of relationship are you looking for right now? It asks their political beliefs. So it goes a little bit more in depth than like Tinder, where every guy has like 2 photos, one holding a fish and no bios.
Oh, you can say that again. Oh, well, let's not forget about the typical douchebag mirror pic in the Crunch Fitness bathroom where his chest is bulging, and it's like, bro, lay off the roids and you might be worth somebody's time. But
Yes. Okay. So you guys, I have heard this now a couple of times on the show that the mirror picture is a huge turnoff, but you see it all the time.
all the time, it's cringe.
Cringe.
It is cringe, completely cringe.
All right, Kasey. So you said you have no faith in the dating apps,
I don't.
and you're afraid to be on the dating apps.
I have heard of many situations where women and also men have been what is referred to as catfished.
Oh, yes. Okay, explain I know we know what catfish is, but maybe there's some people out there that don't know what catfish.
What happened to a girl that I know personally? I've known her since I was, I think, in middle school, roughly speaking. She was on a dating app, and this guy that she matched with had like these pictures that looked impeccable. Like the guy had a rockin' body, loved to go to the gym. He was pretty to look at. He was all those things, and she was like, okay, yes, yes, yes. And she walks into the restaurant, and she can't find him anywhere. And she finally hears her name, which for the sake of integrity, I will not say her name.
Okay, all right.
She hears her name, and she's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is going on here? And he explains to her, you were never going to like me if I was just myself.
And he looked nothing.
No,
nothing.
No, the guy whose picture she used is a legitimate GQ model, and this guy was 5'3" and 527 pounds.
So, oh,
Yeah.
you also feel bad, right? But okay, so Kellie, as the attorney, what are you thinking right now? And I have heard on a lot of these dating apps, though, they do have the verification, right? That you actually have to take a selfie or something and send the picture right there, and then so they know you're not catfishing.
Some of them have it. Granted, I have not tried out all the dating apps. I don't know that all of them do. I have seen it on some of them, but it's certainly disheartening, and my heart goes out to them because I don't see that date going successful anyways, so you might as well just be truthful from the start and find someone that's actually interested in you. But I can certainly understand how there's a lot of people on there, and it can be intimidating for sure. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're wasting everyone's time. I luckily, thankfully, have never had an experience that bad with being catfished on dating apps, but you do come across all the time. I don't know if men just don't know how to measure themselves, or if they just think women don't know what 6 foot and above look like.
Right.
But they all like to say, they're like, yeah, I'm 6'1", I'm 6'1", and then you get there and they're like 5'7", and I'm like, that's, just tell us from the start. Like, we don't care, and if they do, then so be it. Like, you're not wasting your time anyways, but like, I just never have understood the point of lying about all of them.
But speaking of height, I'm glad you brought that up. So I was with a few of my male friends, and one of the guys says, well, I have a lot more going for me than he does. And for the sake of integrity, I won't share their names, Kasey. But one of them is 5'11", and the other one is over 6 foot. And they say that women really seek out taller guys. Is that true?
I personally do, because I am 5'8" on a good day. So like when I feel like it does kind of give men a little bit of an intimidation factor when you're looking them dead in the eye. Heels are not too big of a deal. At least like when in my past relationships, when I've put heels on, they're highly aware that I'm not actually that tall, so they don't have such a problem. But I feel like the guys I've met that are like 5'7", 5'8", and they're like looking me dead in the eye, they do have the tendency to be a little bit defensive, and I won't sugarcoat it. Who am I kidding? Like, short man syndrome is a very real thing.
It is? Okay, do you look at this? Look at Kellie actually nodding her head. So you believe this is a real thing too?
Yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend that he was the same height as me, and I'm 5'6", and he told me I wasn't allowed to wear heels around him.
You weren't
because
allowed to
I
wear
wasn't
heels.
allowed to. Needless to say, the relationship ended for other reasons, but that certainly didn't help the situation. But yeah, it's just, I can certainly see that it's an insecurity, but I think if someone's with you, I mean, height's a pretty easy thing to know right off the bat, and be able to know one way or another if you're okay with it. But it's certainly a lot more prevalent on dating apps, I think, and it becomes more of an issue than it should be, because it asks people for their height, and when you're on a dating app, you get 4 pictures and very limited information, so it's easier to judge people just based on their heights. But in real life, like, I've dated a wide range of different heights, and I think if you meet them in person, it often comes down to personality and so many other more important factors. But certainly on dating apps, it can be very easy to just judge based on height.
Yes, and on this show we have never ever talked about this whole height thing, but it has come up when I'm out and about and talking to people. I feel bad though for some of the guys out there that are okay, who honestly there's many great guys out there that are not 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, give them some words of encouragement. Come on, Kasey, you can do it. You can do it. Words of encouragement.
I mean, stilts do exist. I'm sure they're on Amazon.
Kellie, did she just say that?
Yeah.
She just said that. All right. Okay, so height is important to you.
It is to me. I'm also I played college softball, so it doesn't help that I also have shoulders like a linebacker. So I feel like when a guy is smaller than me, I'm like, oh no, this has to stop.
So okay, what else is important to you? Because it is interesting that they do ask those questions on the app, right? So what is important to you?
So important to me would be personality, first off. And I was actually, it's funny enough, I was somewhere the other day, and I had this place I do frequently go there. So I did see this guy, and once I actually spoke to him, I couldn't believe his smile. So I kind of noticed eyes and smile are big for me because I feel like that's ultimately how you feel someone's vibe.
Right.
Like it's not all about looks. At all. Somebody can be really good looking. I've come across this oftentimes, having been an ex-sports broadcaster. Somebody can be really good looking, but oh wow, where's your personality? Did you leave it at home?
Or there's nothing upstairs.
Right. I mean, that's a big one too.
Intelligence, I feel, is very important. And I'm not saying, of course, you're an attorney, you're in marketing, you can be extremely intelligent and work on the roads in this country. It's just that level of communication. Would that be fair to say?
Right.
The level of communication. All right, let me ask you this. I'm going to go somewhere since, this, again, I mean, it's unedited, unscripted. What about the age factor? Because I was also talking to some male friends about why sometimes men date women that can be significantly younger, and why women may like those gentlemen that are significantly older.
Well, they say men's brains don't develop until their very late 20s, if not early 30s. And so we got to date older to be able to catch up with our mentality and emotional level. But I think, a lot of it comes down to preference and just, it's something you've kind of always seen. I don't know. There's probably a scientific answer for it that I definitely don't have. But I think it's kind of always been the case.
The age gap for me, I agree with Kellie completely. There is a level of emotional intelligence and also life experience when it comes to these older men where they just aren't trying to find themselves, trying to figure themselves out most of the time. As a 26-year-old, if I met someone that was, say, 32, 33,
that's not the age gap I'm talking about, girl.
You're talking like 10 years.
Like
okay.
20, yes.
Oh, 10 to 20.
Well, those are called sugar daddy.
Yes, sugar
there you
daddies,
go.
right?
I was going to say, we need to elaborate on the age gap because as a 26-year-old, if I started dating a 32-year-old, he's definitely more mature than a fellow 26-year-old. But I personally would never go 15 to 20 years older, only for the sake of I don't know what I would have in common with him. I'm not looking to have children right now. I don't especially want to get remarried, and most of the time when there's a 15 to 20 year age gap, or at least it's been my experience, that there is a lot of baggage. Ex-wives, ex-baby mamas, debt, some lost their house, or that's an extreme, but there's always something when there is a 15 to 20 year age gap, and that's been my experience.
How about you, Kellie?
I think, talking to I went to college in the area and seeing the transition from guys that we went to college with to now in their somewhat professional lives and then going on. I think a lot of females are just tired of guys their age and they don't seem to have grown up and I've heard from a lot of women that I'm not getting anything out of this anyways. I might as well date an older man that can provide for me or
there's nothing wrong or right about it.
Whatever the reasons are. I think people have a lot of different motivations for being in a relationship, but it's
It's
At least
interesting,
in
though, right?
Florida, yes. I grew up
At
in
least
Colorado.
in Florida. Okay, wait. On that note, we need to go to a break. We're going to go to a break because I'm also hearing this theme about Florida. Something in
Florida man.
Yeah, there's something.
Oh,
in the
Florida
water,
man.
Something over here.
I mean,
all right, stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
Thinking about getting engaged, planning to upgrade your wedding ring, or finally getting that Rolex?
The Golden Diamond Source can help you in many ways.
You can start a layaway plan for only 10% down and 6 monthly payments.
Take advantage of our 3 to 5 year interest-free financing.
Or you can trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase.
Come to the Golden Diamond Source and find that perfect gift for the ones that you love.
Gems with Them is our way to share knowledge about gemstones.
November has 2 birthstones to choose from. Topaz, which comes in a rainbow of colors and is the 4th anniversary stone.
Citrine is the most desired with its rich orange imperial color and is a 13th anniversary stone.
With the holiday approaching, gemstones make wonderful gifts at any time of the year.
To learn more, follow us on social media or go to goldendiamond.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Dating in America. We have Kasey and Kellie here, 26, 28. Both of you have never been married. Kasey, you are in a new relationship. It's just beginning. I mean, Kellie, you're in a new relationship,
Yes.
just beginning. And Kasey, all right, couple years, you said you haven't really dated anybody? Not
I
really?
haven't had a serious in a while. Only for the sake of dating in Tampa. I have heard nothing but horror stories, and honestly, I also took the time to just kind of pay attention to myself, take care of myself. What do I need? Figure out my career, figure out where I'm headed in this crazy thing called life, because it's true. Like, if you aren't the best version of yourself, or at least secure with yourself, or if you don't like yourself truly, you're not going to be good for someone else.
And you're not going to attract the right person.
Right. I mean, as
for
long
yourself.
as something I've noticed with even like some people that I know personally, like, your desperation is so obvious that that's why these kinds of men are into you, and vice versa. Like, okay, I mean, you're so willing to drop a very like nasty pickup line. You're so willing to make a comment about her ass, her boobs, like something about like wanting to sit on her face, like everything along those lines. Like,
You're like, totally say that? Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Trust me when I tell you it happens. But I've heard it all from like what some of these men say, but it's like, what kind of woman do you think, like, do you really think your future wife is going to look at you and say, oh yeah, I would love for you to? Like, I can tell you that girl's temporary. Like, she's
Well, they're not looking for a wife with those
Right,
kind of comments.
Those kind of comments,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so
maybe.
So we have some questions that we're gonna ask you too, but
Yeah.
prior to going to the break, and you were talking about these guys, and then you did mention Tampa. Kellie, you have a theory on Florida men, and you know I feel very blessed. We have viewers from all over now, but what is it about Florida men?
I mean, I grew up in Colorado, and I think men are just a little bit more outdoorsy and are more your stereotypical man, so to speak. But I think in Florida, like, I went to college at the University of Tampa, where the ratio of female to men was like 6-2. And so men did not have to try hard to get females. It was a dime a dozen. And so I think then it translates, and most of the area around here, there's a lot of beautiful females.
Yes.
There's a lot of successful ones. And so it's not that hard for them to just be like, okay, well, if you won't talk to me, like, someone else will. And so there's so many women that, like, they just don't try and they don't care.
Right. Well, because they don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed that, like, just in at least Tampa for me, Miami's pretty bad too, I noticed. But a lot of these girls also know that they're good looking, and they portray themselves in such a way that the attention they get is like, all they care about is likes, all they care about is comments and followers, that when it is time to like meet someone of any kind of quality that would actually be worth their time, like, I've seen this firsthand, like, I have seen a guy look at a girl and say, I don't really care how hot you are, I can't hold a conversation with you.
Yeah.
Well, you would hope that you would be able to hold, a
Right.
conversation with someone. To me, that's like the most attractive thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of conversations, though, ready, girls? What is the worst pickup line that was ever used on you?
Oh, geez, I have one.
Okay.
So
The floor is yours, Kasey. The floor is yours.
So I was at American Social one night.
American Social, just so people know, it's a very fun bar restaurant in Tampa, and it's on the water.
It's a higher end sports bar on the water, I would say. Like, it's not your typical. And it's more of a place to like go out than it is an actual sports bar. So I'm there, I'm with a couple of my friends, and this guy that I could tell was looking at me from across the bar. I was just hoping and praying, please don't approach me. Please don't approach me. If you approach me, I am calling Jay Wishart, who for reference is my father. And of course, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, Kasey. And I wish I wouldn't have told him his name or my name. And he says to me, so even though, so I understand that beauty is supposed to be seen on the inside, but how could I tell? I've never been inside of you.
No, he did not say
And
that.
I was just like, ah!
He did not say that.
He said, I swear on my parents' life, and my guy friend just looked him dead in the eye and said, you've got about 30 seconds to get out of here before I plow you.
You know, I do have to say that how cute is it that you thought about your dad? That is adorable that you love your dad.
I do love my dad,
and
my dad doesn't play, so don't be disrespectful, and we're good.
Okay, that was pretty awful.
Definitely don't join dating apps then, because if you think they're bold in person, it's 10 times worse online, and they'll just start out sending you a picture of their penis. So.
Ew.
No. Really?
Like, I was like, that is not a way to rein a lady in by any means, but
those pictures, they actually send those pictures.
Yeah.
Right, they have no chill, Serena.
Oh my gosh.
No chill.
Guys.
I know.
Boy, this is disturbing.
Boys, clean your act up.
Clean your act up. All right, okay, so, all right. Clearly, you do not think dating apps are beneficial at this point.
No.
No. Kasey said, but so far, Kellie, I mean, there might be, what do you think?
I was just telling one of my girlfriends, because she goes out and stuff, but she doesn't really meet anyone, and she is a little bit more on the shy side. And so I've had these conversations with her, and I think dating apps, like, you don't have to find the person that you're going to marry on there, but it is helpful to at least be going out on dates and to get comfortable talking to people again, especially if you're shy and a little bit more reserved. I think it's easier for people to reach out on an app where you're not face-to-face, and if they reject you, like, okay, you don't have to see them face-to-face.
Right.
And so I think it gives people a little bit more comfort level, and I think it can be helpful. It's just you gotta swipe through a lot of bad before you get to some good. But I think it especially with the apps like Hinge and stuff like that start out with a lot of the questions, you get answers to a lot of questions that you probably wouldn't get answers to normally if you met them in real life until much further down the road. And so it helps you kind of preliminarily filter them out when you know, okay, well, this is never going to work. They don't want kids. I do. Like, we're just not going to waste our time.
Right. So, I mean, you know, good point. And nowadays, do you guys believe, though, in organically meeting someone, or do you just think it's so much harder?
Absolutely. Every relationship I've been in, I've only ever met them organically. I mean, look, everybody says don't meet a guy at the gym. I've talked to lots of nice guys at the gym. It ended up not working out for other reasons, but it had nothing to do with the gym. Oh, you can never meet a nice guy in a bar. I've met a lot of nice guys in the bar. The last relationship I was in, it was nothing too serious. It was relatively casual, but I mean, I met him at a charity event, which he ended up having to go back to his home state, but for the sake of integrity. But
for the sake of integrity, we're not going to mention his name either. Okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, he ended up having to go back to his home state, and we ended up wanting different things from a distance. Like, he wants a stay-at-home wife, and that was kind of a problem for me, because as much as one day I could be one, it's not happening just because you locked me down.
Right, right.
So I do think meeting people organically, for me, is the only way.
But you never know. You never know. Okay, speaking of that, though, Kellie, you were going to say something.
I was going to say,
you were going to say something.
I listened to a podcast, and they call it dating in the wild, and it's a good term for it, because it can be hard, but it's certainly, I think, most people's preference. It's just reality can be often a lot different.
Right, because the world is changing so much. But on that note, do you believe that the one is out there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you both are very adamant about it. How do you guys know that the one is out there? Because you're hopeless romantics. I'm a hopeless romantic, so believe me, I believe in it too.
I am a hopeless romantic, but I'm also very, in a way, reality based. Mm-hmm. Like, I just also know, like, I mean, as kind of conceited as it's going to sound, like, I know what I bring to the table. I know I will be a great partner for someone. I am overall a catch. So truly, I do think it's just a matter of kind of weeding out the bad ones. And bad, that's a stretch, but just trying to weed out the ones that aren't the one.
Right for you.
Right. I mean, and just pick up on red flags right away. Like, if somebody ultimately, like, all they ever do is buy tables and bottle service at the clubs every weekend. I mean, if I don't especially love to do that, so that's probably not a good fit for me.
How about you, Kellie?
I do think there's a one for everyone. It's just kind of a matter not of whether you find them. And I think a lot of people you definitely know when they're not the one. Yeah. And a lot of people end up getting stuck in relationships out of convenience or comfort, or because they're scared to go through dating in Tampa or Florida, or just dating in general.
Right.
And so they stay in relationships where they're not, and it may be slightly naive or wishful thinking to be like, oh, there's the one, and a lot of it is effort-based and what you put into it. But I think there are people out there that are a good match for us on, like, a different level.
Right. Absolutely. But listen, I believe in true love. So as we wrap up the show, let's end on like a really fun question though. Who's your celebrity crush? Do you have a celebrity crush?
I do.
Okay, who's your celebrity?
Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, okay. Rob Gronkowski. Yeah, he's a good one. Do you have a celebrity crush, Kellie?
Eric Decker, like him.
Oh, that's a good one.
Him and Jesse James Decker are just like goals. Also, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Both of them, I'm like,
am I the only woman on the planet that does not think Ryan Reynolds is that good looking?
Well, you know, I just like, there's something about his personality that I
that's
think
fair.
Is, you know, there's something about his personality, and we all have individual tastes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so you guys did not meet each other either until you came on the show.
Yeah.
No.
And so we found you, Kellie, through a Facebook group that is, Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Yes.
Are we dating the same guy?
Yes.
And Kasey, I co-anchor a show called The Lighter Side of Sports with JP Peterson, who I absolutely love, my television husband, and you were his intern.
Yes, I was his intern and his co-host for a long while now. We actually, in fact, had a segment called Down in the DMs, and it was dedicated to yours truly's dating life and the DMs I would receive on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, you both are amazing. I mean, you run marketing, right now. Congratulations, Kellie, making partner at your law firm at the age of only 28 years old.
Yeah, thank you. It's appreciated. I work with a great team, and we're incredibly passionate about what we do. So I couldn't be happier, and I think that makes dating a little bit easier, especially when we love our careers.
Absolutely. Well, I'm passionate, and I believe in the two of you finding the one, and maybe then you'll come back on the show. Let's have a dating in America reunion.
Yes, I would love that.
Wouldn't you love that? Speaking of that, guys, hey, do you want to be on the show? Do you want to be on any one of our shows? Personal story, love story, business community. We would love to hear from you. Just reach out to us at production@redhousestreaming.com. You can also share our show on multiple social media platforms, and we have some major announcements coming this fall on establishing our network. But anyway, Kasey, Kellie, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
Yeah, it was
absolutely.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and have a great week.
The Golden Diamond Source has been in business for nearly 4 decades and is one of the largest family-owned jewelry stores in America.
We have the largest selection of white and fancy colored diamonds and gemstones you'll find anywhere.
We also have private areas for VIP viewings.
Only at the Golden Diamond Source.
Hello, everyone. I'm Serena Fazan of the Serena Fazan Network, brought to you by Red House Streaming. We are committed to helping those impacted by Hurricane Ian. You can see the unprecedented damage caused after Ian made landfall just short of a Category 5 storm. So many lost their lives. Thousands are without homes as a massive recovery mission is underway. We are teaming up with the Red Cross. Please join us in this rebuilding effort. It's as simple as scanning the QR code or following the link below. Stay safe.